thank you. And then thank you to the member for North Devon, because I know from prior experience as the DEFRA Minister responsible for nature that the member for North Devon really is a hedgerow hero. She was persistent and she was effective at implementing increased recognition, I think, across DEFRA of the importance of hedgerows. And that was certainly recognised by ministers, including my good friend, the Minister for Nature today, and also the Farming Minister and all the officials working across DEFRA in Natural England and in the Forestry Commission as well. I'm delighted that we published the Environmental Improvement Plan on the 31st of January last year, because that really did recognise across 277 pages what we are doing to halt the decline of nature by 2030 and increase its abundance thereafter. And hedgerows most certainly were featured in there. And also in the revised standards earlier this year, hedgerows have been featured, not just the planting and protection, but also the management and the assessment and the earthy banks on which they grow. And can I also commend DEFRA for recognising the benefits of stone walls? Because as an area like mine in Copeland, across the Lake District, throughout Cumbria, stone walls are also incredibly important for biodiversity and provide the windbreaks and shelters that hedgerows provide as well. So I'm really pleased that DEFRA has recognised that they are more than just something for our much appreciated tourists to enjoy. They are more than the cultural landscape. They actually provide a real benefit for nature and will help contribute to that halting of nature's decline, which is so important. As we think about the hedgerows that have featured across our landscape for thousands of years, initially formed for windbreaks, as divisions, as shelters, I think to divide the land in such a cost-effective and long-living, bountiful and beautiful way was a wonderful thing that our ancestors did. But I think whilst grubbing up may have been a government policy many decades ago, when the priority was feeding our nation in a post-war Britain, we've come a long way in appreciating that it was indeed a very bad idea to sacrifice hedgerows. I would argue that it was perhaps one of the worst environmental harms that our country has done to the countryside. It's right that there is such an emphasis on farms and farmers, because on our relatively small island, which is densely populated, about 70% of our land is agricultural land, is farmed land. So if we are truly going to see the benefits that we need to see for biodiversity, it's right that ELMS and that £2.4 billion investment from government prioritises farmed land. And I think we are really catching up, because the Environmental Improvement Plan introduced that commitment to planting of more hedgerows, which my honourable friend, the member for North Devon, has set out, and also the increased protections, and I look forward to the confirmation of that. The new and improved standards will go a long way, and there are fantastic examples now of farmers coming together. Can I give a particular shout out to my farmers in the West Lakeland CIC, about 50 or so farmers who have come together because they recognise that they can play a key part, predominantly in the Wasdale and the Ennerdale area of West Cumbria, a truly outstanding landscape, Britain's best view and Britain's best farmers. They recognise that working together, featuring more hedgerows and looking after the water quality in that area will not just be of benefit to nature and our environment, it will make good business sense for them too. And the reason they see the business opportunities is, I think, because across DEFRA we've recognised the benefits of nature-based policies, and one that I'd like to reference is biodiversity net gain, which will be coming out for large developers, I very much hope, in early February, and other developers thereafter. And I think this really will drive a further appreciation of hedgerows. Firstly, of not taking them out, of making sure that they're protected during development. There's that 2-year window. And also of putting hedgerows back in, because the credits for hedgerow planting are considerable. But can I also draw the House's attention to the benefits of gardeners and the role that gardening can play to increase hedgerows. To replace a fence with a hedgerow will go so far in the carbon sequestering, in the cooling, in the air quality. Hedgerows offer a fantastic benefit for pollution capture as well, particularly in urban areas where about 10% of the hedgerows are made up. Of course, they're bountiful. We can all forage and enjoy, and the wildlife can forage and enjoy the shelter that hedgerows bring as well. And let's not forget the benefits of soil erosion with hedgerows. The fact that hedgerows will prevent flooding, their roots dig deep into the ground. But the reason that hedgerows are so fantastic is because they're often mixed. And that is the benefits of gardening as well. It is a landscape, a gardening is a landscape which is diverse, which encourages multiple different plants and different layers to grow at different rates, but it is managed. The act of gardening, similar to farming, means that it is managed, and studies are now showing, especially from RHS Wisley, that the benefits of the 30 million gardeners getting behind nature are absolutely phenomenal. We all know about the benefits of carbon sequestering, and if we are to achieve our commitment of achieving net zero by 2050, gardeners will play a key role in that. And just to conclude, Ms Elliott, I really want to talk about the benefits of physical and mental health from hedgerows. As the third most obese country in Europe, we have a way to go to improving our nation's health. About 25 limbs are amputated every day as a result of diabetes. And at the height of the pandemic, on one of the worst days for hospital admissions, 4,500 people were admitted to hospital one day. But every day, on average, 3,000 people are admitted to our hospitals due to obesity-related issues. Now, a walk along a hedgerow, I really can't imagine a nicer way to spend the day. And as we dare to dream that spring is on the way, as the hedgerows start colouring up and livening up, we can look forward to the bird nesting season and absolutely the need to protect those hedgerows. But most importantly, we can look forward to the sights and sounds that we find in our hedgerows and find an excuse to go for a walk, to enjoy the great outdoors, which I think is the most wonderful thing about this country and absolutely essential if we're going to tackle the obesity crisis and all of the many preventable diseases that are caused by a less active Britain. Thank you.